The average person, when they hear sports analytics, immediately thinks of pop culture references like Moneyball or mock drafts and who's going number one overall, and they'll ask about hirings and firings. But what they're not seeing is what's happening behind the scenes, what led to those decisions. Everywhere from how teams are constructed to how we identify players and forecast their future performance, down to the minutest things of strategy. It is data-driven decision making. How have sports analytics changed the NBA? So if we think about how sports analytics have impacted the way that we construct teams, it comes down to talent identification. We think about a team that doesn't have a lot of money compared to a team that does. They often got outspent for the top talent. And so they had to figure out which players were the quote unquote diamonds in the rough. So if we're talking about the NBA, we might look at how tall a player is, what the ratio is of their height to their wingspan. Long arms turns out to be really, really important. And one that's kind of oddly predictive might be hand size. The bigger your hands are, the better you are at playing basketball, the better you are at securing a rebound. And so teams are trying to find every little metric that might help them understand who's likely to be a future all-star. The game of professional basketball has changed a lot due to analytics. And probably the simplest way to see this has to do with the shots the teams are taking. If we go back 20, 30, 40 years, there was a lot of the mid-range game. There was a lot of the one dribble pull-up. There was a lot of the back to the basket basketball that we simply don't see as much of today. What do we see today? We see pace, we see space, we see three-pointers, we see layups, and unfortunately we see a lot of fouls and free throws. But what we've identified is that those shots are the most efficient shots. So seeing lots of changes both on offense and defense just due to simple data analytics. Analytics and player talent goes hand in hand. If you have a great player who buys into these concepts, who comes through and says, hey, I'm willing to perform in a slightly different way to find the slightest edge, I mean, that's really what separates some of those truly great players, is they're always looking for every little piece of information that can help them succeed. The ideal candidate for the sports business program is the person who's always asking why. Why did they take that shot? Why did they draft that player? Why did they sign that coach? If you are a frustrated fan and you've got questions, you're likely a really good candidate to come join us in the W.P. Carey School of Business.